for joining the conversation as we discuss issues relating to the traditionally underrepresented gifted population. I'm Sherry Johnson. It is my pleasure to serve as a guide as we continue our focus and discuss the twice exceptional gifted learners. We're going to define the term twice exceptional, explore the characteristics of the twice exceptional gifted students, and discuss best practices for identifying and meeting their needs. So, what exactly do we mean when we talk about 2E? 2E is simply the term used to talk about the twice exceptional students. These unique individuals, they have dual exceptionalities. They have exceptional ability and exceptional disability. There are times when their giftedness is being masked by their disability, and other times when their disability masks their giftedness. In the classroom, they may appear average, they may appear struggling. Nonetheless, there are some characteristics of this particular group of individuals that I'd like to share with you. Twice exceptional learners, they have superior vocabulary. Although one of the challenges, they may get frustrated. They're highly creative and imaginative, even though they may appear to be very stubborn. They are resourceful and curious. Nonetheless, to the untrained eyes, they may seem manipulative and opinionated. They have some strengths and some challenges that seem always to be clashing with each other. In the classroom, there are times when their extreme frustration may cause them to lose focus. So, what do we do as teachers when such a thing occurs? We go back to the basics and we learn more about the characteristics about gifted learners without disability and gifted learners with disability. Two things I want us to examine for a moment. Gifted learners without disability demonstrate the ability to learn basic skills quickly and easily, and they tend to retain information with less repetition. That is a typical GT student that we're familiar with. Nonetheless, there are unidentified and misidentified students because they have a disability and they may struggle with learning basic skills due to cognitive and processing difficulties. They may need additional strategies and accommodation in order to acquire basic skills and information needed to navigate the curriculum. Whereas gifted learners without disability demonstrate the ability to read easily and to read at a high level. There are students with disability, although they're also gifted, that may have difficulties reading due to cognitive processing deficit. It doesn't deter them in their goals. It's simply a matter of their giftedness being masked. When I think about it, I think about what services these individuals would need and what it is that they'd ask from teachers. And the more I think about it, the more I think about the identification dilemma that they would face. You see, twice exceptional learners, according to Dr. Trail, who is the author of the Twice Exceptional Gifted Children, she states that twice exceptional learners are at risk in our education system because it does not recognize their unique characteristics or provide the timely support they need to be successful. What makes it worse? The combination of the two exceptionalities makes it difficult for twice exceptional students to be successful in school. There is no federal definition to guide the identification of this special population of gifted students. As a result, misconceptions and stereotypical notions hinder the identification of twice exceptional learners. I really like Dr. Trail's perspective. As a mother with an autistic child, I understand the frustration that goes in with raising a child, with teaching them stuff, and having to navigate the cognitive deficits that may arise. And that led me to really focusing more about students with learning disabilities. And I came across Dr. Susan Baum. She's the co-author of To Be Gifted and Learning Disabled. And she really honed in on what it is that twice exceptional students need. Above all else, they need us to be very careful in the way we treat them and the way we deal with them. Please listen carefully to the plight I face. I continue to fail despite the effort I gave. Please observe carefully the struggles I endure. I'm highly motivated, although I fail at the door. Please speak carefully. I implore you, use caution. I'll define and redefine who I am based on your feedback on our conversation. Please evaluate carefully the task you'll assign. I need to be challenged while my disability is kept in mind. Oh, please judge carefully the work I turn in. Was my giftedness masked by the disability within? Please analyze carefully the risks of my dual identity. I'm a gifted learner navigating a disability. Colleagues, these students simply need us to listen, to observe, to speak carefully, to judge them mindfully, to evaluate their task, and to analyze what it is that we say. I spend a lot of time researching the twice exceptional GT students as a mother and as an educator, because I believe that with time, with patience, we can help our students be identified and correctly placed to get the services that they need. Let us hear what Dr. Baum has to say as she shares her insights about twice exceptional learners.
Twice exceptional children are those who have extraordinary abilities, gifts, talents in particular areas, but some challenging weaknesses in others. They may have to do with executive functioning, the ability to pay attention, social skills, and those challenges get in their way of developing their gifts and talents.
What should teachers know about twice exceptional kids?
I think it's very important to teachers to realize that they have students in their classrooms who are really bright but have challenges that are interfering with their ability to produce good work. But what happens, teachers are paying too much attention to what the children cannot do rather than equal attention to what they can do. So what I would like teachers to think about is, instead of that child is not reading, that child is not writing, ask yourself, what does that child do? How can I understand how that child learns by what that child is producing? It might be a wonderful model in Legos to show his engineering ability versus writing about gears in an essay. So please give kids strength-based choices so that they can tell you easily what it is that they do know.
What's important for parents to know?
I think it's important for parents to have hope. Your children have wonderful talents, and someday they're going to do great things. So we need to help them along the way. And I think two things that you can do would be to make sure the school understands what their challenges are and make sure they get the right support that they need. But on the other hand, you need to be in charge of being an opportunity maker. You need to involve them in those areas where their gifts and talents and interests are developed. And you need to let the school know where their talents are as well, as sometimes they just might be hidden in the classroom.
Why self-efficacy is of concern for twice exceptional kids?
Twice exceptional students perceive themselves as not being smart. They can't do the simple things that many of their classmates can do. And if you don't think you can do something, then you don't put the energy in to doing it. And this is called self-efficacy, the perception that you can perform a task. It's the little engine that could theory. If you think you could climb that hill, my gosh, you will work hard to do it. But if you think you can't, you won't do it. And so that is what we mean by self-efficacy, the perception of your ability.
Dual exceptionalities means dual differentiation.
We have children who are dually identified, so it makes sense that they would need dual differentiation because they need differentiation that's going to address their challenges. On the other hand, they also need differentiation that addresses their strengths. To put them together, it's dual differentiation. But let me give you an example. Say you have a very bright child who doesn't know how to read well. And so to give them a man can fan when they're 8 years old and thinking like a 12-year-old is insulting. But if you gave them a poem from Emily Dickinson, listen to these words. A word is dead when it is said. Some say, I say, it just begins to live that day. Those words are simple words that they can read. But the thought, the idea, the concept is very complex, and it's something these kids could get their minds around. Dual differentiation.
Well, thanks to Dr. Baum, we have a better understanding about twice exceptional students and the need for dual differentiation. This video highlights issues relating to the middle and high school student. I've included it as a resource because not all of the teachers that will be watching this are teaching high school and middle school. I've also included an example from an elementary school. This is a third grader. And these two videos will highlight the needs of twice exceptional students and the importance of community to support them along their journey. So we're going to go into a little bit more depth and look at definition for twice exceptional again, characteristics, best practices, identification, and the support needed. This is a great time for us just to stop and really focus and hear the insights that will be shared.
Twice exceptional. What does that mean? In the past, a bright child who struggled in school was often referred to as GTLD, gifted and talented / learning disabled. Today, a more common term for these children, one that encompasses a broader range of learning, social, and emotional challenges, is twice exceptional, or 2E for short. Twice exceptional children have one set of traits related to their high capabilities and another set related to their limitations or special needs. The blending of these two sets of conflicting traits produces a unique profile. There's no single profile of a twice exceptional child. the nature and causes of twice exceptionality are too varied. Still, there are some traits that many 2E children share. A 2E child may have one or more diagnoses. These might include learning disabilities, processing disorders, and emotional or behavioral disorders. On the other hand, some 2E children have no formal diagnosis but can have learning differences of other kinds that can make it hard to function in a traditional classroom. 2E children often display characteristics typical of gifted children. In general, they don't have trouble grasping concepts or generating ideas. Where they often struggle is in putting thoughts down on paper, writing legibly, doing calculations accurately, or staying organized and on track. 2E kids may also find it hard to make and keep friends, hard to tolerate the noise and bustle of a classroom, and hard to meet the requirements to sit still and pay attention. A child with this profile can be a challenge to raise as well as to educate. Having this combination of strengths and weaknesses can produce behaviors that baffle parents and educators, behaviors that frustrate and dishearten 2E kids themselves. Adding to this challenge is the difficulty of identifying 2E children. Some are obviously gifted but don't seem to be working up to their potential. Others are easily identified as having learning challenges that overshadow their gifts and talents. And then there are those students whose classroom performance seems average. That's because their gifts and their deficits mask each other. So many 2E kids are either unidentified or misidentified. Twice exceptional children need three main things to succeed. First, they need to understand themselves. Gaining this understanding is the first step towards self-advocacy, being able to ask for what they need to become independent and successful learners. Second, twice exceptional kids need challenge. They thrive in a learning environment where their giftedness is recognized first, not their disability. Despite any trouble they might have in reading, writing, or paying attention, these kids do best on work that offers them appropriate challenge. Third, 2E students need support to overcome deficits and develop gifts. Along with lots of encouragement, these students may need formalized support, like an IEP or 504 plan. Both are available to eligible students under federal law. Other forms of support are just what many would call good teaching, practices that can benefit everyone in the classroom, not just those who are twice exceptional. It's easy to think that bright kids' inconsistent performance, disorganization, and inattention is just laziness, carelessness, or lack of interest. But when we look closer and find that twice exceptionality is the real cause, then we can offer the proper mix of encouragement, challenge, and support that these kids need to achieve like the gifted students they are. Find out more about raising and teaching twice exceptional children at the website of 2E Twice Exceptional newsletter. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your interest in helping these great young people reach their potential.
So when it comes on to twice exceptional learners, yes, they have learning disabilities that may hold them back, but their giftedness will give them the drive to succeed. They may lack structure and may need a very structured and routine classroom environment, but they also need open-ended inquiry to satisfy their curiosity. Their learning disability may create some skill deficit, but their giftedness will demand conceptual leaps so they can explore that curriculum at the depth and complexity that their mind will thrive on. They will need support because of their learning disability, but their giftedness will cause them to seek autonomy. It is a delicate balance that is worth exploring. They may need things to be explained and seek clarity, but their giftedness is going to need complexity so they can continue to grow and to develop. As we think about our twice exceptional learners, if I may impart two words with you, they would be differentiate and accommodate. Our twice exceptional learners are opportunities given to us so we can grow and expand our own teaching capacity. By searching for ways to meet their needs, to differentiate the curriculum so that both their disability and their giftedness can be nurtured, we will grow as educators. I want to remind you that you are an essential part of this growth process. You make the difference in the lives of our twice exceptional students. As a mother, I want to thank you for the role that you play. You hold the key to their future. You hold the key to their success. The words of encouragement that you impart, the time that you will take to make sure that they understand, to make sure that they are getting enriching experiences will make the difference in their lives. I know that there are days when it will seem challenging, but I want to let you know that I believe in what we do. I believe in you, and I want to thank you for spending time in this professional development opportunity, learning about our twice exceptional, gifted, and talented students. Regardless of what we do, regardless of where we go, the impact that you'll have will be lasting. Be encouraged. Continue meeting the needs of the twice exceptional learners. I'm teacher Sherry J reminding you that together we are growing minds and we're changing lives.